Have you ever felt like you're stuck in a season of waiting? Like the blessings you've been praying for are just out of reach? You're not alone. Many of us go through times when it feels like the heavens are silent. But I want you to know something very important today. God has a message for you. He says, "I will bless you." These words are not just a promise. They are a declaration from the Creator of the universe. God is ready to pour out His blessings upon you, and today we're going to explore what that means for your life. But before we dive into how God's blessings manifest in your life, let me ask you this. What does it really mean to be blessed by God? The answer might surprise you, and we'll uncover it together as we go along. When we think of blessings, our minds often go straight to material things: money, success, a nice home, or a new job. But God's blessings go far beyond the physical. They touch every part of your life, your health, your relationships, your peace of mind, and your spiritual growth. God's blessings are about His favor resting on you, guiding you, and protecting you. Imagine walking through life with the assurance that God's hand is upon you. That's what it means to be blessed by God. It's knowing that no matter what comes your way, God is with you, and He is for you. His blessings are not just about what He gives you, but about His presence in your life. Now you might be wondering, how can I position myself to receive these blessings? Is there something I need to do? We're going to explore that next. God's blessings are a gift, but there's a posture of heart that opens the door to receiving them. It starts with trust. Trusting that God is who He says He is, and that He will do what He says He will do. It's about aligning your life with His will, seeking Him first in all things. When you trust God and seek His kingdom above all else, you're putting you, yourself, in a position to receive His blessings. You're showing God that you believe in His goodness, even when the circumstances don't make sense. And that's when God moves in ways you never expected. Trust also means being patient. God's timing is perfect. And sometimes, the blessing He has for you requires a season of preparation. Just like a farmer waits for the harvest, we too must wait for God's blessings to manifest in our lives. But during that waiting, God is working. He's growing your faith, strengthening your character, and aligning things in your favor. But what about the challenges you face while waiting for God's blessings? How do you keep your faith strong? We'll talk about that in just a moment. Waiting is hard, especially when you're praying for something important. It's easy to get discouraged, to wonder if God has forgotten you. But remember this: God's delays are not His denials. Sometimes the blessing He has for you is so big, it requires time to be fully prepared. During the waiting, it's important to keep your faith strong. How do you do that? By staying connected to God through prayer and His Word. Spend time reading the Bible, where you'll find countless examples of people who waited on God and were blessed beyond measure. Let their stories inspire you and give you hope. Another way to keep your faith strong is by surrounding yourself with a community of believers who can encourage you. Share your struggles with them and let them pray with you. There's power in unity, and when we come together in faith, God moves in incredible ways. But what happens when it feels like the waiting will never end? How can you hold on to hope when the blessing seems far off? We're going to explore that next. Hope is a powerful thing. It's what keeps us going when everything else says to give up. And the beautiful thing about hope is that it's anchored in God's promises. When God says, "I will bless you," He means it. And that promise is your anchor in the storm. When you feel like giving up, remind yourself of God's promises. Speak them over your life. Declare that you believe God is faithful, that He is good, and that He is working all things together for your good. Even when you can't see it, God is moving behind the scenes, preparing the blessing He has for you. Hope also means being open to how God chooses to bless you. Sometimes, His blessings come in ways we don't expect. They might not look like what we had in mind, but they are exactly what we need. Trust that God knows what's best for you, and be open to receiving his blessings in whatever form they come. Now let's talk about the power of gratitude. How can being thankful, even before the blessing comes, open the door to God's favor in your life? We'll explore that next. Gratitude is a powerful force. It shifts your focus from what you don't have to what you do have, and it opens your heart to receive even more. When you thank God for the blessings you already have, you're showing him that you trust him for what's to come. Start each day with a heart of gratitude. Thank God for his goodness, for his provision, for his love. Even in the waiting, find something to be thankful for. Gratitude not only brings joy to your heart, but it also positions you to receive God's blessings. When you're grateful, you're acknowledging that everything you have comes from God. You're recognizing his hand in your life and giving him the glory. And when you do that, you're opening the door for even more blessings to flow into your life. But what happens when you're facing challenges that make it hard to be thankful? How can you find gratitude in the midst of trials? We'll talk about that next. It's easy to be grateful when things are going well, but what about when you're facing trials? How do you find gratitude then? The key is to remember that God is with you in the midst of your struggles. He hasn't left you. In fact, he's closer than ever. When you're going through a difficult time, try to focus on the ways God is working in your life, even in the trial. Maybe he's teaching you something new, or maybe he's strengthening your faith. Whatever it is, know that God is using your trial for your good. Thank God for his presence in your life, for his strength that carries you through, and for the lessons you're learning along the way. Gratitude in the midst of trials is a powerful testimony of your trust in God, and it opens the door for his blessings to flow even in the hardest of times. Now, as we begin to wrap up, let's talk about the ultimate blessing God has for you. What is the greatest blessing you can receive from God? The answer might surprise you. The greatest blessing God can give you is his presence. Yes, material blessings are wonderful, and we should be thankful for them, but nothing compares to the blessing of knowing God and having a relationship with him. God's presence in your life is the source of all other blessings. When you have his presence, you have everything you need. You have peace, joy, love, and strength. You have guidance, protection, and provision. God's presence is the greatest gift you could ever receive. So seek his presence above all else. Spend time with him in prayer, in worship, and in his word. Let his love fill your heart and overflow into every area of your life. When you make God's presence your priority, his blessings will naturally follow. As we come to the end of this message, I want you to hold on to this truth. God's promise to you is simple and powerful. I will bless you. This is not just a statement. It's a declaration from the Almighty. Trust in his love, align yourself with his will, and be patient in the waiting. His blessings are on the way, and they will exceed your expectations. Remember to keep your faith strong, hold on to hope, and cultivate a heart of gratitude, even in the trials. And above all, seek God's presence, for in his presence is the fullness of all his blessings. If this message has encouraged you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs to hear it today. And always remember, God's blessings are not just about what he gives you, but about who he is in your life. Trust in his promise, I will bless you, and watch as his love and favor unfold in ways you never imagined.